Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Emmerdale spoilers next week. Tom's abuse of Belle escalates and Erin gets devastating news. There are devastating scenes on Emmerdale next week as Tom King's abuse of Belle Dingle only escalates further and Erin Dingle is dealt some heartbreaking news. Emmerdale will air some huge scenes next week as Tom's abuse of Belle escalates and Erin gets worrying news. It's been a big few weeks on the Dales and things will get even more devastating and heartbreaking next week when Tom King's coercive control and abuse of Belle Dingle escalates even further, whilst Erin Dingle, who is still reeling from his mum Chaz Dingle's breast cancer diagnosis, is reeling when he's dealt some heartbreaking news. Next week on the ITV soap, Erin Dingle gets bad news about the cancer. He has been struggling after finding out that his mum Chaz has breast cancer, and knowing her mum Faith died from cancer, Chaz has decided to have a double mastectomy to reduce her risk even further after getting a diagnosis. She also encouraged her family, including brothers Kane and Caleb and son Aaron, to get gene tests to see if they could have the faulty BRCA2 gene and thus pass it on to their own families. Aaron finds out next week that he does have the faulty gene whilst both Kane and Caleb don't. Moira is relieved when Kane tests negative for the gene, whilst Caleb is also relieved to get a negative test. That means that Nikki is in the clear too, leaving both him and Ruby thrilled. However, in the flat above, Aaron opens his letter to find out that he has inherited the gene from his mum. Chaz is relieved to hear that both Kane and Caleb are negative, but Aaron lies and says he's negative too. Aaron keeps his news a secret the next day too, and pretends he's nonchalant about it all when Chaz expresses her relief. Speaking to the Mirror and other press about his new storyline, he said, "My first thought about this story was, I've just moved to Leeds, please don't kill me off. There are people who just have bad luck, which follows them. So I knew what they were going to say when it was the three of them, Kane Dingle, Caleb Milligan and his character Aaron, who take the gene test. I remember saying, it's me that gets it, isn't it?" I don't think Aaron realizes the seriousness of it straight away. Aaron's always been one of those people who doesn't like constant eyes and attention on him. If he were to tell people when he's not dealt with it himself, he's likely to get a lot of people asking if he's all right, which is the worst question you can ask him. Tom King has been controlling Belle Dingle, and ever since they got married things have only got worse. In heartbreaking scenes next week, viewers will see Tom's vile abuse of Belle escalate even further in a worrying turn of events. Next week, the couple have a big disagreement about children when Belle tells him that she wants to wait a bit before having children. He then sabotages her chances of a new job after she's offered a chance to work with Take a Vow. Despite not being told about the opportunity, Belle covers for Tom when Susie quizzes her on the job. She eventually decides to go for the job, and it leaves Tom fuming, particularly when Susie describes Belle's first client as a perfect match for her. What lengths will Tom go to get control over his wife? The next day, things take a worrying turn as Tom's abuse escalates further. At Marlon's party, Tom does something unthinkable, but what is it, and will Belle's family realize something is wrong before it's too late? For confidential support, call the 24-hour National Domestic Abuse Free Phone Helpline on 0808 2247 or visit womensaid.co.uk if you or your family have lost a friend or family member through fatal domestic abuse. AFDA, Advocacy After Fatal Domestic Abuse, can offer specialist and expert support and advocacy. For more info visit www.aafda.org.uk.